Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Allah reminds us to respect our messenger. In Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 104, He says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَقُولُوا رَاعِنَا وَقُولُوا انظُرْنَا وَاسْمَعُوا وَلِلْكَافِرِينَ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. He says, you who believe, do not say ra'ina. Right? The word ra'ina basically means attend to us. So, وَقُولُوا انظُرْنَا, but say unzurna. Say pay attention to us, or say look at us. وَلِلْكَافِرِينَ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. And the rejectors, the disbelievers, will have a painful punishment. So what does this mean? It says, ra'ina, Allah is speaking to the believers and say, don't use this word. This word ra'ina basically means pay attention to us or give us a little bit of time. But what happened is that the word ra'i, if you change it and you say, instead of saying ra'ina, you say ra'ina, make a little modification to it, it means our shepherd. Because a ra'i, it's like in a hadith, kullukum ra'in, all of you are shepherds. And you have to be responsible for your flock, whoever's underneath your care. So what happened is there was a group of people who didn't like the Prophet. And they saw that the companions, his companions who followed him, they used to go and used to say, "O Messenger of Allah, give us some attention, give us some time." And they would say, ra'ina. But what happened is that these people would come up and they'd say, ra'ina. They would modify, they would change the word, they would twist it a little bit and say, oh, our shepherd. And a shepherd is considered to be like a lowly profession in that time. It's like, oh, you garbage collector or janitor or something like that. So that was disrespectful. So what does Allah say? He says, you know what? Even when you use the word ra'ina, when you say it, there's nothing wrong with it. But it could be possibly twisted by people who don't like the Prophet. So because of that, we're going to be so cautious and so careful, you should not even use this word anymore. You have to use the other word, unzurna, which is clean. It's hard to twist that word around. So we're going to be very cautious about that. We're not going to even allow you to use that. Now, why is Allah saying that? Allah is saying that because the amount of respect that we have to have with the Messenger of Allah is something that, we have to take very seriously. Because sometimes we read a hadith or something like, oh, I can't believe it. Why is the Prophet saying something like that? You have people doing all sorts of things. When they read something about the life of the Messenger of Allah, they don't understand the Arabian context 1400 years ago. They're like, oh, why did he have so many wives? Or, why did he do this? Or why did he do that? We have to remember, when we believe that the Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of God, and he has been chosen by Allah, we have to have a level of charity with him. A level of charity basically means whatever actions we come across, whatever something we see, we have to interpret it in the light of everything else we know about him. And that leads us to love. That leads us to care. That leads us to respect for the Messenger of Allah, to the point where we need to watch ourselves of accidentally inserting our own minds and our own ideas into how we view him. Because we cannot be full proper Muslims until we love the Messenger of Allah more than we even love our own selves. And we can only do that when we are careful about even these small things from creeping into our hearts. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the love of the Messenger of Allah into our hearts as well. Ameen.